Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going through these 4 blockbuster NBA trades for teams ready to risk it all this offseason. So as you can see, it says summer blockbusters could soon be coming to an NBA franchise near you. Teams hoping to radically reshape their rosters with little choice. Cash spaces at a premium. Few teams in the draft lottery hold significant win now hopes. So here's 4 trades basically by Bleacher Report that we're going to be looking at, dissecting and ranking at the end of it. So let's jump right into it. With the first ones, we have the Pistons tab Zion as their Cade co-star. Detroit Pistons receive Zion Williamson. The Pelicans receive Jaden Ivey, Tobias Harris, Bobby Clintman, a 2027 first round, top 3 protected, and a 25 second round. Why the Pistons do it? The Pistons do it, well, in my mind, they do it because they need another superstar on that team. Zion Williamson is, when healthy, the definition of that. He's flashy, he'll put people in seats, and he makes a huge difference to the team as well. He'll make them sort of from that bottom tier of playoff contenders in the East to somewhat dangerous coming up, especially if they can put the right pieces around them as well. It'd be great for the Pistons to pair Zion with Cade. I mean, imagine that, seeing Zion and Cade running the floor together would be super interesting, super fun to watch. I also like it for Jaden Ivey as well, specifically him getting out of Cade's team, sort of moving over to his own team in the Pelicans. I do think he's a little bit lackluster on the Pistons. I think they've got people on that team who can do what he does for them. And a change of scenery may be good for his career. We might see him take another step if he's handed the keys to another team, especially on the scoring front anyway. And the Pelicans as well, with having Zion, they've not made the postseason. Well, nothing sort of spectacular anyway. They've had 2, wait, it says it here, yeah, 2 playoff trips, but no series wins. 2 coaching changes, a head office firing, and nothing's going right for them. They've got rid of Brandon Ingram. He's now in Toronto, I believe. They traded him there, right? He's in Toronto. You get back a gifted scorer in Jaden Ivey who can develop his game there a lot more with a lot less pressure. Now the Pistons are contending, or at least in that consistent playoff contention for the next couple of years. It will be a lot easier for Jaden Ivey to go to his own team and sort of develop himself over there. I think it'd be very, very good for him specifically. I think he's a strong winner out of that. And it also takes pressure off the Pelicans because they've sort of offloaded a little bit with having Ingram moved. And now I see their next move is moving Zion. The only problem I have with that for the Pistons is his health. I mean, he's not played many games at all since he's got in the league. He's always injured. If we can see his healthy version for a season and a playoff series, it might be good for him. But I do like this. I think this puts the Pistons up a peg, and I think the Pelicans get decent value back. I think they are getting a little bit fleeced on this deal just for Zion's talent alone. But based on his health, I think that balances everything out. I do like this deal. I like this as a B+ for the Pistons just because of Zion's health, and an A- for the Pelicans. Obviously, they've got Tobias Harris, which is expiring contract. They do get a first rounder out of it as well. Of course, for your cornerstone star, you'd want a little bit more. But I think just based on Zion's health, that's the best they're going to get for him. Now moving on, the Rockets fixed their offense with a Kevin Durant mega deal. The Houston Rockets received Kevin Durant, the Suns received Fred VanVleet, Cam Whitmore, a 2025 first of their own, a 27 first of their own, and a 28 first round lottery protected pick. Now, this makes entire sense for the Rockets because they've just lost to the Warriors in 7, and you could tell what they were really lacking is a superstar who can guide them in the playoffs, and a guy who can go and get his own bucket. They need a volume scorer, and Jalen Green just isn't that. I mean, I think he averaged 14 or 15 points against Golden State, which through the regular season, he's a great guy who can go and volume score. But outside of that, it's not good enough for this team to contend, especially with the pieces they have around them. For the last couple of years of Kevin Durant, I mean, Kevin Durant's skill set is that set that I don't think he's going to drop off too much as he gets older. So I think you'll still get 26, 27 a night from Durant. It's more of they need him as opposed to sort of being able to fill the gap any other way. I think he fits just really perfectly into this team. However, the Suns, I don't think the Suns accept this deal. They get 3 first-round picks back, which is great. They get a young guy in Cam Whitmore who can fit a little bit better on the Suns, probably get a little bit more playing time there, and Fred VanVleet, who is obviously a point guard that the Suns desperately need at the moment. I just don't think, from what I've heard from the Suns at the moment, they want something similar to what they gave up for Durant back in return, which I guess 3 first-rounders isn't. How much did they give up for him? 4? Not exactly 4. But they do get a young guy with potential in Cam Whitmore, and they get a solid point guard in Fred VanVleet. I just don't know if this is the route they take. I'd like to see a little bit more back for Phoenix, in exchange for Durant. But then again, he is also aging and recently a little bit more injury prone. I do like this deal for the Rockets. But I don't know how much I like what they get back for the Suns. I think the Suns have kind of shot themselves in the foot. They can't move Brad Beal. They can move Durant, but they're just not going to get back the same assets they gave up for him. Devin Booker probably won't get moved unless they're getting rid of everyone. I can't see them moving Book. So I like this for the Rockets. I don't like the return for the Suns. I think the Suns have put way too much in just to get that back for Durant. But in terms of equal value, I do think that's a pretty fair trade. For them, it's just really dependent on if Durant wants to go to the Rockets. If Durant wants to go there, he'll get there, whether or not Phoenix like it. But for the Rockets, I'm giving this an A+, exactly what they need. And the Phoenix Suns, I'm going to give them a B on this one. The Heat find their star in Ja Morant. The Miami Heat receive Ja Morant and Jay Huff. And the Grizzlies receive Duncan Robinson, Kyle Anderson, Nikola Jovic, Jaime Jaquez, a first round via Golden State, a 2029 first round top 4 protected, and a 2031 first round pick. I don't know how much I like this deal for either teams. I think Memphis really did just struggle with injuries this season, and also the fact that they faced OKC in the first round. I think if Morant stayed healthy, that would have easily been a 6 or 7 game series. They were playing pretty good. The Grizzlies were. I think they've just had a poor structure of health come this season. So I'd like to see them run it back at least one more. I don't think the Grizzlies have given up on Ja. I don't think the Heat are going to be able to land him. I mean, pairing him with Bam would be electric, seeing them both play on the same court together. You've got Tyler Hero there. I just don't think they get it done without either Bam or Tyler moving, for one. And 2, I just don't think the Grizzlies are ready to move on from Morant. I think they've got at least another season in them to where they can prove that they can win with him. If not, this is more of next offseason. I'm looking at something like this to move Morant. But I don't think Ja's going anywhere. I think he stays in Memphis. And I don't think this works out very well for either of them, because the Grizzlies have a lot better of a team than the Heat do anyway. They've got DPOY, Mr. Jaren Jackson. They've got Desi Bain. Scottie Pippen Jr. has really blown up this season as well. I just don't think the Heat, one, a better team than the Grizzlies, so it wouldn't make sense for Ja to want to move. And 2, I just don't think the Grizzlies are ready to move on from Ja. So if the Heat were to do this, I'd give the Heat an B+, just because I don't know how well Ja's going to fit into that. They need more of a shooting point guard who can run their offense, as opposed to someone electric like Ja. Yeah, he'd put people in the seats, and yeah, he'd probably make them a little bit of a better team. But someone who can pick their own shot, get it in the mid, and sort of just make the whole team better, as opposed to just adding star talent. So I'm going to give the Heat a B+ on this, and the Grizzlies just a straight F. I think they can run it back another season if this ever was to go through. They've got another season, yet at least one season, to prove that they can win with Ja, because the last time everyone was healthy on that team, they made a run. So I wouldn't be optimal on them moving Ja at the moment. And finally, the Raptors win the Giannis sweepstakes. The Toronto Raptors receive Giannis Antetokounmpo and Pat Connaughton. The Bucks receive Ingram, Barrett, a 2025 first, top 2 protected, a 27 first, a 29 first, and a 31 first. I kind of like this trade. I do. I think Giannis is had enough in Milwaukee. I think he's either gonna be out this season, this off season, or he's gonna be out next off season if they don't make a run. I think he might give them the grace of one more season, but other than that, I think he's on the outs, ready to go. And I like this for the Raptors too because they have a solid team there. You've got Scotty Barnes still staying. Emmanuel quickly still on that team. Brandon Ingram and RJ Barrett obviously do get moved, but you need that. I think that's worth it for the Bucks as well to get back two guys who can pick their own shots and good wings. 4 first round draft picks back for him to help him retool. They can probably get not something similar, but a little bit of a maybe 2 or even a single first round pick depending on who they get back for Damian Lillard to a contender. Can see that happening for sure if he stays healthy. But I do quite like this. I don't like the Raptors being the place that Giannis lands. I think he fits better in the Nets, and I think that's a lot more of a team that he can work with. I think that suits his skill set a lot better. But the Raptors still have Emmanuel quickly. They still have Scotty Barnes. They've got all these pieces that can fit nicely around Giannis if they decide to make this trade. I do think for Giannis, he's 31 this season. They could get a little bit more back for him, but Brandon Ingram is an all-star player. RJ Barrett is a great role player. You're getting 4 first rounders. I think in this market it's going to be a little bit tougher to get anything else. But I do like Giannis in Toronto. I just like him in Brooklyn a little bit more. For the Raptors, this is an easy A+. You get even Pat Connaughton, a guy who can come off the bench and get you shots when you need to. And obviously Giannis is top 3 to 5 player in the league. So you've got the both of them there. You do lose an all-star talent. You do lose a top-end role player, but you get Giannis. It's a no-brainer. So it's an A+ for me for the Raptors on this. The Bucks, I just think, one, the Nets can offer them more. And 2, I think Giannis probably would prefer the Nets as opposed to Toronto. So for the return, just for value, I'm going to give them an A-. Brandon Ingram is getting up there in age. He's in his prime at the moment, 27. He's 27. RJ Barrett's 25, 24, 25. So you've got pieces you can flip there. So it's not a bad return for Giannis. I just think the Nets can offer them a little bit more for what they get. And I think it definitely makes them a contender. You saw the way they were able to mold a team around Kawhi in 2019. I definitely think Raptors, Masai Ujiri have the tools and capabilities to do the exact same thing for Giannis. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. That's all I've got for you today. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe if not already. All my links are in the description down below. Let me know video ideas. I'm always looking for more. Comments from in the description down below. And yeah,